Hi everyone, welcome. With this lesson we are starting a new topic in this course. We're looking at descriptive adjectives in Spanish. Think of adjectives as the salt, pepper, mayo, mustard, ketchup, or the condiments of the language world. We use adjectives to spice up our nouns, to give them more meaning, give them more flavor. So the first and most important question is, what do adjectives do? What is the function of an adjective? Well, an adjective will describe a noun. So we add the adjective to the noun to give you more information about the noun. Remember that the word adjective comes from Latin. The part of the word eject is from the Latin word. It's a form of the Latin word to throw. And add literally means to, so we throw the adjectives to or at or onto the noun literally. So that's the origin of the word adjective. Now in Spanish, this is important. Adjectives have to agree in gender and in number with the nouns or pronouns they describe. And very important, when we say they have to agree in gender, remember, you've learned this already, in Spanish nouns have what we call grammatical gender. In other words, if it takes an el, it's grammatically masculine. If it takes a la, it's grammatically feminine. In many cases, the grammatical gender and the biological gender will agree if we're talking about people. So for example, el hombre, the man, the grammatical gender is el, it's masculine, but it's also biologically masculine. So in some cases they do agree. But remember, mainly when we're talking about gender, we're talking about grammatical gender. Number, we're talking about whether or not the word is singular or plural. So in Spanish, let's take a look at a typical adjective. A typical adjective will have 4 different forms. So the rule is that adjectives that end in an O in the base form, let's say, or OR will have 4 forms. So if you look up the word tall in a dictionary, you'll see what we call the default form, which is the default form is the masculine singular form. So that's the alto. Okay. The other form here, alta, is the grammatically feminine form, and alto and alta are both singular. In other words, talking about a singular noun. If the noun is plural, if it's plural and masculine, we'll add an S, so we have altos. And if it's plural and feminine, then we add an S as well to the feminine singular form, and we have altas. So we have alto, alta, altos, altas. Let's look at some examples. If I want to say the tall man, which of these 4 forms will you pick? Well, el hombre. Now this is biologically masculine, but grammatically it's also masculine because it takes the el. Words that take el are masculine, grammatically masculine. So if I want to say the tall man, I would say el hombre alto. El hombre alto. Remember, the H is silent. Hombre alto. La mujer is the woman. If I want to say the tall woman, then I can't use the alto form because that's the masculine singular. I will have to use alta, the feminine singular form. So we have el hombre alto, la mujer alta. And this is what is meant by the adjective has to agree in gender with the noun. Now let's look at some plural examples. Let's make the word hombre plural, los hombres. If I want to say the tall men, then I would say los hombres altos, the tall women, las mujeres altas. And there you have it, the adjective alto agreeing in gender and in number with the nouns. If you're making a complete sentence and using the verb ser, it's possible that the adjective will be separated from the noun by the verb ser. So for example, I could say something like, the man is tall. El hombre es alto. Alto is still agreeing with hombre even though it's separated by the verb. El hombre es alto, the man is tall. The woman is tall, la mujer es alta. The men are tall, Los hombres son altos. The women are tall. Las mujeres son altas. This is what is meant by the adjective agreeing with the pronoun. The pronoun él is masculine and singular, so the adjective has to agree with that. He is tall, él es alto. She is tall, ella es alta. So ella is singular and feminine. Alta, ella es alta. They are tall, ellos son altos, and ellas son altas. Remember, ellas is plural and feminine. So the adjective has to agree with that pronoun. Here's an example of an adjective that ends in OR. So adjectives that end in OR also have 4 forms. So we have the adjective trabajador. Trabajador means hardworking. And if I want to use that adjective with a grammatically feminine noun, I add an A. So we have trabajador, trabajadora. Masculine plural, you have to add ES to make the adjective plural. So trabajadores. And feminine plural, you add an S to the singular form, and you have the plural form, trabajadoras. So we have trabajador, trabajadora, trabajadores, trabajadoras. Let's look at some examples. The hardworking man would be el hombre trabajador. The hardworking woman, la mujer trabajadora. The hardworking men, los hombres. Can you guess it? Yes, trabajadores. Los hombres trabajadores. And the hardworking women, las mujeres trabajadoras. Remember that the adjective can also be separated from the noun by the verb ser. So I could say the man is hardworking, el hombre es trabajador. The woman is hardworking, la mujer es trabajadora. The men are hardworking, los hombres son trabajadores, and the women are hardworking, las mujeres son trabajadoras. Okay, thanks so much for watching. That's it for your introduction to descriptive adjectives in Spanish. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you'd give it a like. To continue learning about adjectives and to continue learning Spanish, click on the video that appears here on your screen to go to the next lesson. I hope to see you soon. Hasta pronto. If you're new to this course and this channel, I'd just like to point out that the lessons in this course are numbered. So if you'd like to go back to the very beginning of the language, beginning Spanish, simply go back to video number 1, which is here on greeting. Or you can just pick and choose from the lessons however you'd like. Also, please note that shorts are designed to help you improve your vocabulary, just very short videos with a vocabulary word or phrase. The other thing that you might find helpful would be the playlists, where items are grouped together according to subject or category. Thanks again for watching.